Good afternoon, everybody. It's Miss Trees. How are you guys doing? I hope that you are healthy and safe and enjoying your time at home. I sure miss you guys. I know that I wish I was at school instead of having to be cooped up in my house. Hopefully, you are too. Today, we're supposed to be going through starting our How Many Stars Are in the Sky story. So I'm going to read the story, the beginning of pages 23 to 30, and you can follow along with me. Remember, fingers pointing at the words while I read, and then I will ask you some questions or point out some important parts to you while we read. It starts off, how many stars in the sky? Mama was away that night and I couldn't sleep. Mama knows all about the sun and stars, but she was away and I didn't want to wake Daddy. So I stared out the window asking myself, how many stars in the sky? I could count so many just from my room. I leaned out the window and I could count even more. That was just gazing over the backyard. How many stars in the sky? So my question to you would be, what is gazing? Gazing is when you're looking out and you're just looking and you're trying to figure out something and you're not sure what it is, but you're just looking out and you're trying to figure out what something is. Turn the page to page 26. I went outside with a pad and pencil. I started to count. I filled up one whole page of the pad, but there were lots of stars hidden behind the trees. The house blocked out even more. The street lamp was so bright I couldn't see stars anywhere near it. How many stars in the sky? Notice they're repeating the title of the page over and over after they have the words on the page. Page 27. I climbed high into my treehouse. I started at the Big Dipper and counted in a great circle around all the sky. I filled up the page after page of my pad. But when I got back to the Big Dipper, it wasn't where I remembered it. I must have been out so long that the stars had moved. Old ones had set, new ones had risen. How many stars in the sky? I wonder how many of y'all have a tree house in your backyard, or you've made a fort that's like a tree house in your living room. I know I did that when I was a kid. Page 28. I climbed down the tree house, and there was Daddy. I couldn't sleep, I said. I can't sleep either, he said. Your mama won't be back till tomorrow. I told him how I wanted to count all the stars in the sky. If your mama was here, Daddy said, I bet she'd know. Maybe you and I can find some place where it'll be easier to count them. Go to page 29. My dog hopped in the truck with us and we drove into town. The streets were quiet, but lots of streetlights were burning. We could see the bright city skyline in the distance. Now, when we were studying urban, suburban, and rural areas in social studies, we knew y'all could tell me what each of those were. So what I want to ask you is, where do you think he lives? Do you think he lives in an urban, a suburban, or a rural area? Remember, he lives in a house with a yard. So be thinking about that yourself. Last page we're going to read today is Daddy and I counted 25 or 26 stars. He said he thought one of them was the planet Jupiter. This isn't a good place to see stars, I said. It's not a bad place to count them, though, he said, but it's still too hard. Let's go where it'll be really easy. So, when you go outside, is it easier or harder to count stars from unless you're in your window? So, where do you think it would be easier to count stars? In the urban, suburban, or rural area? Where would you see the most stars? So, tomorrow we'll start at page 31 and we'll keep reading. So, ask yourself while you're reading this how you can count the many stars in the sky. Until then, this is Miss Trees. Make sure you're working on your writing. I'll be posting another video of how you're going to be doing your writing and your social studies. I really miss y'all and can't wait to see y'all and hope that this all boils over soon so we can be back in school together. Talk to you soon. Hang on, I'm having a hard time